Hi, this is Anna, Imagination with a Healing Garden, and welcome to the Queen's Journals. I am assessing and just contemplating. I don't know why YouTube records so much nicer than Facebook. I don't understand why. It's the same camera. I don't understand it. I just recorded several videos this morning off of Facebook with my really bad camera, and well, it's still my bad camera, but now I'm here on YouTube and I'm like, wow, the quality is amazingly better. And I don't understand why. It's definitely the software YouTube uses. But it just astounds me every time I switch over from Facebook to YouTube. I'm like, wow, the quality is much higher. So, yeah, I'm kind of in one of those mellow places. I had like massive epiphany upon massive epiphany. And now I'm like, I want to go back to my comfort zone and just process it all. I'm literally mapping out the our order of operations and the early process of relationships, the preliminaries, the stages of determining. Yeah, it's really awesome. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm mapping out the psychological order of operations in establishing early relationships. And this is my map, which is kind of like a game. I'm thinking if I put it on a board game. And basically, you start off deciding which one of you is going to be the leader or the follower. And then from there, it's what is your relationship with control? And then you go through stage one. And stage one is the emotional, the intellectual, the physical connection. And then you basically max it out. You reach the point of, I don't feel safe. This is dangerous. That's because intimacy is approaching. You communicate about it. You clarify the safety. Communication literally obliterates the feeling unsafe. And then that's ready for, you've completed round one. Round two is stage two. And it's, again, you have the emotional, the intellectual, the physical. And then it almost starts off with physical at this point, like physical and then emotional and then intellectual. And then you pause and you reach the safe zone again, where you need to stop and you need to reassess. And I just finished out stage two with somebody. And now I'm going, I don't want to go anywhere now. I don't, this is where I usually bail. And this is where I'm going, yeah, I don't know. This is definitely the point where I usually like cut it and say, I'm done. And I'm trying to figure out why. Well, I know what it is. He mentioned me being dependable, and I'm like, yeah, I'm whimsical. I'm very whimsical. I don't. Yeah, suddenly the idea of someone depending upon me, or yeah, yeah. There's this love isn't safe in my head. Intimacy isn't safe. And now I just want to kind of run back to my comfort zone. And I just want to pull the plug on everything and just curl up in a hole and be like, no, I want to be isolated now. That's it, really. I want to be in the isolated space. Yeah. So I think I'm needing to take a break from everything. It's Thursday and I'm supposed to be doing my Dungeons and Dragons game tonight, and I am just not in the right mindset for it. I'm just wanting to close the world away and just withdraw. And the question really is, do I want to recover from this? I have done this my whole life where I discover that I have a problem with something. So I analyze it. I use the psych to break it down, figure it out. I work through it. I identify the problem, and then I move on. And now I get to this part, and I do this every time where I go, I don't want to. And I'm going, is it because of the risk, the return, and the reward? Is it too high of a risk? Or is it not the right person? What kind of a person would be the right one for me? It's a really good question. That's a really good question. Maybe I should figure that out before I proceed. And it's, yeah. So I did the whole, we talked on the phone, we went over everything. What are your expectations? Where are you wanting this to go? We had that conversation. And I felt really great. And then I wanted to take it to the next level. And then I didn't. And maybe it's just because it's supposed to pace and go its own pacing at its own time. Maybe it just needs to be left alone to just go wherever. But I'm kind of wanting to just shut everything down, get onto Netflix, binge a few million things, eat ice cream, and just cry. Like, that's what I feel like right now. I don't usually go through this part of it. I've been working on the self for so long that I haven't even touched relationships. And there's like so much as far as human connection goes and boundaries. And a lot of it is making sense now. And a lot of it is bringing up, that's what it is my research is bringing up a lot of my own mental garbage. That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. My own research is opening shit that I didn't want to open. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go through the order of triadic healing. Oh, by the way, this is triadic healing. Like, this is exactly it. As I'm sitting there doing the work and I'm going, oh, so going back to triadic healing, how would I apply this? Well, there's the Jerry. So I would soothe Jerry again. And I would address the demons. And I would just repair. And it's at a point where I can't even build friendships because this thing is in the way. And it's really just your relationship with boundaries, your relationship with intimacy, your relationship with love, your relationship with these emotions. That's really what it is. What is your relationship on these emotions? We talk about relationships with people and relationships with a self. You really have relationships with the emotions. And that's something we don't talk about ever. You have a relationship with love. You have a relationship with fear. You have a relationship with intimacy and commitment. And you have a relationship with loyalty, all these emotions. Every one of them has a relationship with you. And it's like these are the cost paid through by your vulnerability to have intimacy. This is the price for intimacy and connection. You have to pay through vulnerability and I'm really struggling with the independence side of it. That's a big part of it because for me, independence is something I've had to fight for a very long time. So it's just like this. And this is just to get people close. And it's almost like I wish I could have close friends and close people in my life without any of the process. And that's it, is we're all trying to bypass the process. And it's skip the process, and it's at the same time the process. And that's it. I don't want the commitment. I don't want the reliability. I don't want the lockdown. I don't want to have to adjust my life to accommodate the feelings of others because I am not reliable. I'm going to disappoint. And it's like, or maybe it's this hard because it's not right. Maybe it's this hard because it's not right. Interesting. Very interesting. That's the way it was with my partner. It was so easy. It was effortless. There was zero work. It takes work for he and I to actually conflict. It takes work for he and I to be apart. It takes work for he and I to like it's so effortless. It's always been that way. I never even thought of it. Maybe that's the problem. Like that's the thing with if it's easy, it's right. If it's hard, it's because you're trying to force it to go where it's not meant to go. The same thing applies to relationships. Whoa. Oh, okay. I just need to trust the relationship. I just need to trust the universe on this one. Trust the universe. If it's right, it'll just click into place without any effort, mindlessly. And there's only one person who that's been like for me. Okay. I'm going to go with the universe on this one. I've never even thought of this before. This is fascinating. Instead of going through trying to navigate relationships, we have such this need to control the relationship because we're projecting our need to control the relationship to feel safe. And as a result, we end up trying to steer a relationship into whatever direction that we can possibly make it because we don't trust it, because it's not right for us, because we are afraid, because it is a matter of controlling it to direct it to get it to go where we want it to go. And it's absolutely contradicting to the universe says no. Stop fighting it. All right. I will relinquish control. That's what this comes down to. Relinquish control of a relationship. And when you relinquish control of the relationship, it either falls apart because it wasn't meant to be, or it clicks right into place where the universe says it's supposed to be. You know, it's really fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. See, with my life partner, the more I try and control that relationship, the more it falls apart. The more I let it go and just fall and go wherever it goes, it falls right together. But with all other relationships, this is fascinating. With all other relationships, I try and control them to bring them together. And when I release them and let them go and allow them to just go wherever they go, they fall apart. Really fascinating. I need to stop controlling everything and let the universe just let it go wherever it needs to go. This is a different mindset. Okay. So, how do I relinquish control? That's the question. How do you relinquish control of a relationship? Well, the first thing I'm going to say is relax. The second thing I'm going to say, how do you relinquish control? Trust. Trust. Okay, let's talk about trust because that's it right there. I could feel it. There were two elements of trust right away. The first element of trust was trusting that I'll be safe, trusting that the universe will literally provide for me whatever it is that I need. And yeah, trusting for safety. That was a massive part of that just now. And trusting that I will have the desired outcome that I want if I leave it up to the universe. So rather than so I need to trust the universe that it will keep me safe and that it will give me the desired outcome that I want. And basically it's a delegation. Then that's literally what delegation is. Anytime you delegate anything, you are trusting that somebody else is going to take care of it. So in the act of a relationship, and I've been this way my whole life with relationships, if I am not managing and having my hands right on them at all times to steer them, it's because I was forcing them into positions to get them exactly where I needed them so that they would keep me safe. And sure enough, when I stopped managing them, they just fell apart. Every relationship that I have had has done this, except one, the one I currently have with my partner. So I'm going to do something I've never done before and just completely relinquish control over to the universe on relationships. Now, I will document them and I will observe, but I'm not going to control or touch. Not a thing. And and that's what the whim is. The whim is the universe saying, go here, do this. It's the intuition. So if you just follow the whim, it'll just click into place. Yeah. All right. All right. I got this. All right. I feel a million times better. Okay. So I think I still need just like, and it's exhausting. There's a clue. There's a clue, right? It is exhausting. And it's exhausting because I am putting so much effort into making sure that it's steered the right way. I should not be steering. And that's it right there. We should not be steering. The universe needs to be doing the steering. Oh, this is going to be hard. Or not. Okay, so I have to take a drifting mentality. That's what this is literally drift and allow the current, ha ha ha, the frequency to literally carry you. Wow. I've never ever done this with any relationships, not with friendships. Okay. I've done it with everything else in my life, just not friendships or relationships, not with people, because I don't trust people. Yeah, I'm seeing this go in circle now. I don't trust people, so I control people, or I try and control the relationships that I'm in with people so I can feel safe. I am projecting my insecurity onto my relationships. That is what I'm doing. This is making much more sense. Okay, so how do you reverse projection? That's it. How do you reverse projection? How do you stop projecting? How do you stop projecting? Boundaries. That's an easy one. We're back to the boundaries again. Well, if we're talking about security and security, we're talking about establishing the boundaries. Oh, so I communicate these are my boundaries. Oh, I see the subtlety. Yes or no. Or distance. Yeah, I have to feel it. Trust the feelings. Oh, see, that's my problem. Is mine are tainted with trauma. Separate, compartmentalize. When you separate the trauma, all right, I just need to, all right. Que sera? I need to take a break. I need to take a break and just shut everything down and just, I've got a lot on my plate right now. I don't like the word client. I'm going to look that word up. Client. I'm going back to a person or use the services of a lawyer, customer, buyer, purchaser. I want the etymology of client. Client etymology. To hear or obey. From clarere, Latin, cluere, clue. Wow. Heeding. Wow. To hear or obey. Protected by. We are not going to use the word client anymore. That is dirty. I know it. I got to trust my instincts more. I could feel it. Every time I said the word client, I'm like, that doesn't feel good. Now I know why. To obey. Okay, we got to come up with a better word. A patron. Let's take a look at a patron. What's a patron? Father, protector of clients. All right, let's think about this for a minute. What would be a better word for someone in your care? See, I'm right back to discipuli, discipulus. Discipulus. God, this is going to take some digging. A citizen. Let's look at the word citizen. Words change the definition. They change the concept. They change the intent behind something. So when you change a denizen of the city, citizen, citizen. There you go. A citizen. Ooh, I like that. Okay, citizen. Why is it not giving me the etymology? Middle English borrowed from city dweller. Yeah, I like citizen a lot better than client. A citizen. Belonging to is what it sounds like. Civis, civitas, site, borough, city. Civis. Community member. Oh, that just sold me. Community member. Yeah, that is definitely far more a citizen. A community member is communis, communitas, communitas, common. Okay. Yeah, now you're looking at fellowship or a union. That is so much more nicer than client. All right. So let's look up words for community. Group, set, circle. Almost feels like a family. Brotherhood. Uh-huh. Yep. All right. That definitely. Okay, so this is definitely something that's solid with me. Okay, so it's more of it's definitely a citizen. A citizen is the right word for this. Okay. All right, citizen is definitely the right word for this. So client is just a really dirty word that means to obey or to hear. So citizen is absolutely community and family based. There we go. And which goes hand in hand with a membership. That's so much nicer. All right. Yeah, I'm stepping away from human connection. That's really what I'm studying right now is human connection. And there's multiple ways a human can connect with another one. There is romantic. There is of shared interests. There is invested care. Like with my partner, that's invested. That is solid. And romantic and shared interests. And then there's sexual. There is trade, exchange, property exchange, property exchange, sexual exchange of property. There is a nurturing, and that be cultivator, nourishing, aha, provider. Woohoo! I'm getting this. So if you are looking at the okay, all right, I just had an epiphany. This I love. See, this is why I love this shit. Okay, so here's it. So you have nourisher, you have a nurturer, and you have a provider. And a nurturer is a teacher. Yes, a nurturer would be a teacher or a parent. Ouch. And a provider is trade or a merchant. Now, what is mercantile? I know that's French or Latin. Let me take a look at the next. All right, let me see here. Merchant. Oh, okay, let me see here. A person or company involved in a wholesale trade. Let's go to etymology. Etymology, merchant etymology. Yep. Merchandise to trade. Mercari is the Latin. Merchant is the old French. Latin merc, merchandise to trade. So it's a trader. There you go. So a merchant trader, same thing in the Latin. That's a provider. All right. So teacher, parent is the nurturer. Shared interests, see, they're nurture, provider. And I almost want to say the other part of that is celebratory. Like there's celebration. So you're either celebrating, which is your play, or you're providing, and then there's nurturing. So there's nurture, provider, play. Over and over again, these things. See, I say there's 4 pillars to Authenticity City, but I'm beginning to think that there's actually 3. And I'm beginning to think that healing and learning are actually in the same group. There's healing, learning, play, create. Creating is part of the providing. See, this is fascinating. Yeah, so nurturer, provider, celebration. Shared interests, investigative care, exchange property, nurture, cultivator, nurturing, providing. So anytime we interact with another human being, we are interacting with one of these 3 things. We're creating together. We can create together, we can build together. There it is. So we create or we build together, we can play together, we can provide together, or we can nurture together. Nope, I'm still going to stand by it. There are 4 pillars. You're either playing together, you're creating together, building together, you're providing together, and you're nurturing together. And that's it. Those are your 4 options for human connection. And I believe that they are all the exact same exchange. Are you doing? Are you saying? Or are you giving? So the giving is where the provider comes in. The nurturer is where the doer comes in and the words given, and then the creator is your doing together. And it's those variations. So you are taking on the role of nurturer, provider, celebration, creator, build, and then you're doing, giving, or saying. And when you get all of those things combined, that is really how you build connection, is you're doing these things together, or you're learning these things together, and you've got that connection. So when you have human connection, it is an exchange of energy. Now, there's multiple types of energy. And that is where money comes in. Currency. There it is. All right. So how do you convert? I'm tired. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down and just. I think I've been out adventuring, and then I've been socializing, and now I just need isolation. And I think that's it, is, yeah, I did the whole out with or out with community, and now I'm thinking I need to isolate. Okay. If you love shit like this, like, subscribe, follow, comment below, let me know what part of the show resonated with you, and then take a look at the link below and take a look at what part of Authenticity City interests you the most and join the community. Thank you so much. May the kindest of words always find you.